Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Living in Santa Barbara, where we shine a light on the remarkable people that bring vibrancy and meaning to our town. Today, we'll be joined by my friend, the nurturing and thoughtful Marcela Caceres. She's the founder and director of Bright Start Child Development Center, an enchanting preschool in the heart of downtown. Now, let's say hi to Marcela. Hi, Marcela. Hi, thanks for talking to me today.
Well, hi, Kathy. I'm so glad I'm here with you talking. It's been a long time. We're friends.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that's part of my school is like the community piece, how we all become friends over time and everybody gets to know each other. So I think I love that we're still friends and we're able to do this after he's almost in college.
Yeah.
So
What was he? I think he was 3 years old. So Maddox had gone to 2 other preschools before we went to Bright Start. And then we told the people at the preschool that we were going to Bright Start, and then a few of them followed, and they loved it.
Yeah, and we're still friends. We're all very good friends. That's something that's very important to me, and I think preschool is a very important age because, like, as we became friends, then really when you have your child, they're very little, parents get to be isolated. So when they start preschool is when they start making connections and meeting new friends. And I always say your best friends are from preschool. So the little ones have very deep connections at that age. So I think preschool age is very important for everyone, not just for the children, also for the families. So they can build a community around. And early age is so important because that's the time you kind of build your personality, your approach to learning, how you absorb everything in the world for the first time. And I'm very lucky to witness that every day, when I see a 2-year-old looking at a butterfly for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this age is so precious that it's so important to have a beautiful environment and stimulate it in the right way and with the right people around you. I think it's very important.
Yeah. Well, it's important when they're young they're just starting to explore the world.
Yes, it's starting to explore the world. And also it's important to be in connection with the family so we can all have the same way of approaching, the children. And I think that's going to stay with them for all their lives because they're developing. So all the creative side and the way they're thinking. And I think this is the time where you can really cultivate and kind of support the children to become more and more creative instead of the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the school was meant to really honor creativity and also wellness. I think without wellness, you cannot be creative. And I think the school really gives that sense of wellness. Like you say, it's such a beautiful environment because it's all set up around all your senses. So the child can really walk in and the families and have a place that's green, is surrounded by beautiful trees and flowers and different kind of smells just as you walk in. And all that's very intentional. So that's one of the aspects of it. And I think if you're already set up in a place that gives you a sense of well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's number one, where the teachers, the children, the families, everybody feels good, connected. They're free to take their time to drop their child and really, have that sense of well-being. And to me, that's one of the most basic important things to anything. First, you have to feel the sense of well-being. And then as you go in the school, then the creativity and, the idea of being thinking in a diverse way also happens because the children really have a strong sense of agency in that environment, which promotes then independence, not only in the way they behave around the school, but also in the way they're thinking. And we really promote these, things, little problems happen at school on purpose so that children can investigate and have different theories and ideas and work together towards solution. But that's their idea. So projects that we work with they're their idea, and then we all work together to kind of design around that curriculum, but it's the children's idea. And generally it's with something that happens in the environment outside.
So wait, it's based on the Reggio Emilia philosophy. Could you tell
about Reggio Emilia? Yes.
Yeah, what is
it
that?
We're a Reggio inspired school. Reggio Emilia is a town in Italy. And this town in Italy, after the war, the families were really disappointed about, all the problems that this, of course, war brings. So what happens is they decided to have a school that was different.
Mm-hmm.
So they were thinking, how can we create different kind of schools? Because the education in the past did not work. Because
the traditional style.
Yes, because they were in a war. So they wanted the children to really think and be different. So Loris Malaguzzi happens to be an educator that really support these parents to create the first schools in Reggio Emilia. His name is Loris Malaguzzi.
Okay.
So Loris Malaguzzi was an educator and a visionary. And with these parents, with all this group of parents from Reggio Emilia, they decided to open the schools to kind of have this different kind of education. And since then, the schools became very famous. And I think around the 90s, there was an article in a magazine saying that was the best way of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So they became very famous schools. What I love about this philosophy is also it's a philosophy that keeps growing and changing, so it doesn't stay like from that time. It keeps growing as we are evolving, using technology and different things that we use now. So it's based on the children's learning. They're capable and they can learn on their own, but also they're supported by their peers and by the community.
Yeah. Isn't there a philosophy of equality with the teachers and the children? Is that?
Yes. The idea is like the children and the teachers are learning together. So teachers become also learners and the families. Like sometimes we learn about something that we don't know about. So we're all learning together. So as we say, we are learning about some kind of plant that a child brought, and that becomes a project. When I don't know about this plant, I need to learn too.
Yes.
So teachers become researchers with the children, and we are kind of in the same level learning together. So that's what I love about this too. It's a lot of like we are in the same space in the sense that we're learning together and we are researching together.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher also has to provide things around what's happening so the project can be really expanded. So teachers have to also research on their own to figure out what kind of materials can we bring to the table, what kind of context, and so on. So I think the teacher becomes more like a partner with the children and the families.
Yeah. So you're saying like maybe the curriculum isn't so rigid. So if a child had an interest in something, they could bring it to the school and say, hey, look at what I brought. And then that would start the learning process about that object or that subject.
Yeah, sometimes it starts like that and then everybody's interested. So it has to be like everyone has to be interested generally. Like one of the parents in our school who is a scientist, he brought like different mushrooms from us to learn, and we were like, wow, we never saw one before. So he brought so many different kinds and really brought the attention of the children, and we're still drawing them and observing them. And right there you have an example how the community or the parents can also be part of this. Also sometimes it's something that happens that we are watching happening, like a butterfly. All of a sudden we have a butterfly that was a caterpillar, and the transformation that could be. And then we are all interested. So generally, that's what happens. It's not rigid that we are planning the curriculum in advance. We'll say the theme. That will be a theme. It's more about concepts. So we know what concepts we want the children and teachers and children to understand. We all want to go through kindness. We all want to learn about, math, language, of course, all these concepts. But the idea is how. So it sometimes comes from the children. Or from accidents that happen. And we go, we're observing, like I said, caterpillar becoming a butterfly. But we have concepts that we know that are going to be learned that year. So what is different is the curriculum changes every year.
Well, imagine if people were just open-minded and curious about what's in front of them instead of being dogmatic, sticking to only what they know. So to start them at such an early age, being open to all these different things, if you can continue that throughout the learning process, that would be great.
Yes, because I think the way we work with the children is like the diversity of ideas. So let's say, and the way we approach things, like this philosophy talks about the 100 languages. which are the different ways you can express yourself. Like 100 can be 1,000, but 100 is kind of, it calls 100 languages.
Yeah, but there's...
So some children can learn through drawing, some children through movements, some children, different ways. So what happens is when we have a subject that we're learning about, that subject is approached in many different ways. So what happens, the children, they started their foundation for learning how to approach a subject from different points of view. So that's going to stay with them forever because that's how they're thinking. And we do that every day. So I think that's very important. Like, you're not going to think one way. You're going to question things. You're going to, no, what about this? What about that? You're going to look at differently.
Yeah. So maybe let's take an example of a butterfly. So they can observe I don't know if the ecology is the word. What's the word?
Yeah, but the process, transformation.
And drawing it, moving like a butterfly. So you teach that in different ways. You have different, I guess, you have the dance. Could you tell us about?
Yes. Let's say the subject of the butterfly. How do a child can understand this transformation of the butterfly? Well, what you do is you bring materials that support a transformation. So it's not like you're teaching, this is what happened next. It's just maybe, like you say, we can observe the butterfly. We can bring colors that support the colors of the butterfly, or maybe, we have music, and maybe we can bring fabrics and they can move like the butterfly, or transform from a cocoon to a butterfly. Different ways that the children can do this, so they can understand from different entry points, we call it, like the movement, like the painting, even we do a lot of digital environments, and so it's different ways of approaching one subject.
Yeah, that's great. So how did you get involved in owning a preschool? Where did you come from? Let's go back.
Well, I come from. Well, I'm Argentinian, and I'm from Buenos Aires, and my mom was a school teacher, and always wanted to be with my mom when she would go to work in the school. I loved always when I was very tiny.
What age?
I was very young, 7 years old, and I wanted to be, to teach with my mom.
Yeah. What age did she teach?
She used to teach a second grade.
Okay.
So I started kind of like that. And then I always knew I wanted to have a school. And then I worked in a very amazing school in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, for about 6 years. And then I came here to study, to continue studying English at UCSB. And then what happened, I wanted to have a school. I always wanted to. I knew that always, since I have worked in Buenos Aires, that I wanted to have a school. But then I wanted to work here in another school first, and then open my own school, because I had this combination of ideas that I have from Buenos Aires that I wanted to bring here.
Did you know about Reggio?
No, no. That we started school in '94. So this is our 30th year.
30th?
30th.
Wait, you have a party coming up?
I have a party coming up. Yes.
Wait, what day is that?
May 4th, 94. So we're going on May 4th, 2024.
Okay.
So the Reggio inspired philosophy came in 1999, which I'm always, question myself. Okay, why is it the philosophy? What's, because I was never traditional, never. Even though we learn in a traditional way, I work in a school that was not traditional. There was a lot of arts and movement and music and theater, and that part I wanted to bring here. So when I started to learn about this philosophy, the Reggio inspired approach, that resonated with me right away. The beautiful environments, all this curriculum that's so creative and so, I feel like, so detailed and so intentional, and so, related to the children. That's amazing.
Did you go to Reggio Emilia to?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that what really inspired you when you?
Well, I went to Reggio Emilia not as soon as I started. What I started was looking at schools in LA that really inspired me. I started to look at the environments, And I thought, wow, these environments in Santa Monica, schools in Santa Monica were really nice. And then what happened is I started learning more and more. And I went to Reggio Emilia like 5 times now. But what's great is Reggio Emilia is coming to us because we are in dialogue with Reggio. So we have our pedagogista coming from Italy and we work with her every year. And I try to take my teachers again. We want to go next year.
Oh, great.
Because it's really transformational for them to see, the Malaguzzi Center, the creativity, the layers, they're in everything. It's so beautiful.
I want to go.
Yes, okay.
What age range is
Bright Start?
Yeah.
We start at 2 years old.
Okay.
2 to 5, 6 almost when they go to kindergarten, 5.5, 6. So we had toddlers and then a 3-year-old classroom, 4 and 5-year-old classrooms. We used to have also a mommy and me group, but after COVID, we couldn't because we needed a space. So we haven't done it yet. But we started at 2.
How many kids per class and what's the student-teacher ratio?
Well, we have around 15 children per class. The little ones have less, the older ones have more. And it's about, for toddlers, 3 teachers. And then for the other classes, I would say there is 3 teachers also in the 3-year-old, and 4 and 5, there is 2 teachers and a support teacher. And then we also have an art studio teacher that we call atelierista. And then I work with the teachers as a pedagogista, working with the pedagogy and the creative part too.
Yeah. And one of your former parents is also a friend and now teaches Spanish, right?
Yes, I love that. See, I love my community. I have one of the old parents that was there when your son was there. She's also teaching Spanish now. She wanted to teach Spanish. She's amazing. So she's doing it. So we have Spanish, we have dance class, we have music classes. So we have extracurriculum classes as well.
So describe the campus. What does it look like in there?
Well, also, the reason why I was able to do this is because there is my property, so it's different. I was able to rebuild it over time. So I always think when you walk in, you have jasmines and different flowers to look at. And then parent just did a pollinator garden with us. So now we have native plants in the entrance and, all kinds of things going to happen there. And then what we have is a beautiful yard that, like I say, was over time. It has like so many fruit trees and passion fruit and all kinds of vegetables and flowers. And then we have a beautiful atelier that is connected to the indoor-outdoor atelier. And then on the right side, so there's 2 properties together. On the right side, we have walking in the older children. On the left side, we have the younger classes.
Yeah. You have some art showcases once in a while too, is that correct?
Yes, and we're going to have another one in June 7th.
Okay.
So
where's that going to be?
That's going to be at Elena Maison Gallery in the Funk Zone.
Oh, what's the address there? Do you know? What's it called again?
Helena Mason Gallery.
Okay, HELENA. Okay.
And that's, as a parent, Natalie and Jamie, thank you. It's the second time we're going to do it there, and it's going to be in June 7th. And it kind of shows all the work of the children of the year. So different projects. So each classroom was working on a project, and that's what we're going to showcase on June 7th. And it's going to be there for a week or 2 weeks. I'm not sure. Generally 2 weeks. Last year we did one too. We call Organic Perspectives. That was all about different encounters the children have with nature. It's beautiful too.
What's it going to be this year?
Well, I don't have a title yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be about different projects they're working together, which they're all related to nature as well. And very, you see, I can give you only a pick that we're going to work with the sound and plants this time. That's a little pick. We're working with sound in one of the classes, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Well, where do you want to go from here? Like, what is your big dream?
Well, the school is my big dream. I always dream about the school. And I feel like I was very lucky to have my dream came true. And for the future, I really would love to be the school and inspiration for other educators and for other, families to kind of adopt some of the ideas and kind of, spread the ideas to other schools. So I really like to also work with I'm thinking of working also with elementary school and their environments. I would love that.
Would you like to help other elementary schools or start?
I would love to support to recreate environments, learning environments for the children, indoors, outdoors. That's something I really would like to do. We do workshops, conferences, and I would like those to be more affordable for everyone. So we're trying to start a foundation so we can support more education in this community and kind of, spread the ideas.
Maybe we should do a documentary on this would be a good idea.
That'd be fun. Yes.
Okay. Thinking about that.
Yeah.
So where is your school located and how can they find you?
My school is located in downtown Santa Barbara. So we are in Anacapa between Valerio and Arriaga, 2 blocks from Alice Keck Park.
So between Valerio and Arriaga?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a great location.
Yes.
But also the style of the school is really cute.
Yes. It's a 1930 houses.
But you have some play structures there. Like, what does it look like when you walk through the gate?
Well, like I say, we have so many plants and it's very intentional. I always wanted the children to remember the smell of school. So you can smell all kinds of plants and flowers, a lot of jasmine. And now, like I said, we have all these native plants they're beautiful, they're growing. So that's the first feeling. And then, I like when the children just run into the door. I love to be there to say hi to all of them. I try to be there as much as I can to do that because it's so important just to greet the families and the children. I think it's a very important time.
It's cute to see them grow up and then become adults, huh?
That's amazing. Yeah, and then they come back. I have children coming back and want to help in the school. But some are in college now. I have children who finish school and they want to go to college and they can visit later on and they always think the school was bigger and it seems smaller because they are bigger.
Yeah. Do you have a summer program or does it end with the showcase?
Well, we're open all year round. We ended the school year with a showcase, but we're open all year round. We just close several weeks for summer, but year-round school generally.
So if people wanted to come visit, is it open for visitors to?
Yes, we do tours. We do tours once a month.
Okay.
And you can call the school or go to the website and call the school for a tour. And then we do a tour of, maybe 20 people at the same time, once a month.
Okay. So let's say you're interested. I have a child and I want to have the child go to Bright Start.
We are a small school. We are a small school. We are only 70 children a day.
Yeah.
So what happens is we only have room for the new class, which is only 15 a day. So it's very small. So I would say if you really want to come to the school, try to get as early as you can because it's not many openings that we have a year. We only have those openings. Maybe we have 20 openings in the whole school a year, 25 at the most.
Do you want to make it bigger?
I thought about expanding, but I'd really like the contact with everyone, the day-to-day contact. So the only way I feel like I could expand would be next to the house next door.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to expand to the elementary school. So that's something that it was always resonated with me that I wanted to do that. But I think I like to be in my space with the children and the families.
Have intimacy.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I don't want to lose that. It has to feel that way for me to do it.
Yeah. Well, so how do they find you? What's your address and your phone number and your website?
Okay, I'll give you the website, which is brightstartonline.com.
Okay.
So you can get a brightstartonline.com and then you have all the information that you need.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, Marcela, for...
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening. To learn more about Bright Start, you can visit them at brightstartonline.com. We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and if so, please share it with your friends and family and give it a 5-star rating. And follow me on Instagram at Living in Santa Barbara. Stay tuned for the next episode, where I'll connect you with more incredible people that make Santa Barbara a wonderful community.